pick,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
negotiate,
800 bucks. 900. 850.
close.
Are we doing it? It's a deal.
All right, score.
Flying across the field feeling like that guy did in 1937.
They're the masters of the art of picking.
That's the kind of stuff you dream about.
Most of the time.
I'm gonna give you $600.
Long before American Pickers became a reality TV phenomenon, it was just a spark in Mike Wolfe's imagination until a chance encounter at a funeral set it on the path to becoming one of cable's most unexpected hits. Every series starts somewhere, and Wolfe's happened to begin during a conversation over a coffin. The idea to create a show around antique hunters traveling around the country came during a chance meeting at a funeral of the father of one of Wolfe's friends. This was after he had a few bites, but nothing worked out that aligned with his vision until he met up with his friend at the funeral. I was at a funeral of a friend's father and ran into my high school buddy, he recounted to Script. He and I wrestled together in college. He later became the UFC champion. We started talking and discovered we were both trying to pitch shows and shared our ideas. He told me I should come down to his gym because production companies were always there, filming his fighters. I went and gave him the reel I put together, and he gave it to a company called JWM, who at that time were making the History Channel's #1 show, Digging for the Truth. History was always where I saw the project going, so I was excited to sign with these guys, despite making the connection at the funeral and finally securing the backing from a production company. Wolfe wasn't exactly on the path he hoped for. At least not yet. You have all these views in your mind of how it's going to go, and then you see how it really goes. There was no crew. It was just me on the road by myself, he shared. So, basically, I bought a camera, and I started shooting everything on mini DV. I would put it on the dashboard and start talking into it. Then I bought a cheap tripod, and I'd stick it in the gravel and film myself. When I was picking people's barns like your mother's barn, I'd hand them the camera and they would film me talking, and then I would take the camera and do a little interview with them asking about their relationship with these things and how they collected them. To me, the show was always about relationships, more than about a value. Determined to make the relationship work, Wolfe would wake up every day and spend hours making calls, connections, and sending emails to get the show off the ground. I would watch shows, see who produced the ones I liked, who wrote them, who was the EP, executive producer. I'd look them up online and send them emails directly, he said. Once he did sign with a solid production company, everyone passed on the pitch. Literally everyone. He thought his dream was over, but he was still determined to try every avenue. He pitched to overseas companies, basically to anyone who would talk to him, until he met Sarah Kosick from TLC. She was one of the people who I had called asking, "Why do you hate my show? Why won't you carry it?" She was the first one who encouraged me, and she was so cool. She didn't know me at all, but she gave me so much of her time, he recalled. She explained I had a lot of leaves, but no tree. The videos that I had were great, but there was no format. Plus, the production company had no format. That's a big open question. People liked me on camera, they liked the people I filmed, but I had no show without a format. From a chance encounter at a funeral, Wolfe finally made the right connections to get American Pickers off the ground and into living rooms across the country. Kosick took the helm, even pitching it to TLC, who passed. But she called Mark Portner from Cineflix Productions. At this point, I'd talked to so many production companies, I was like, whatever. Mark calls and says he wants to film me. So I say, if you really want to, I'm coming to New York State to pick in a week, Wolfe said. Enter Frank Fritz, and the road trip began. After shooting hours of footage, Cineflix had something strong to pitch and sell. The History Channel voiced an interest, saying they wanted to buy it. Wolfe, who had been burned throughout the process, didn't stop until the deal was inked. Wolfe shared his biggest lessons in the road to reality. The biggest thing I want to tell you is... Laughs. My wife just chimed in asking if I'm going to say my success is due to her supporting me through this whole process. Laughs. You always hear that line, never stop believing, always believe in yourself. The only thing I can add to that is you have a mission you are on, Wolfe said. You have a creative idea. Don't let yourself be so wrapped up in your idea that you aren't willing to still have it be an organic process. That is how I succeeded. My idea was so powerful in my mind I couldn't sleep at night. But at the end of the day, I always had open ears and was a sponge to people who had thoughts about my idea. That is why it succeeded. In the world of reality television, few shows have captured the charm of forgotten Americana quite like American Pickers. Since its debut in 2010, the History Channel series has followed Mike Wolfe and Frank Fritz, and later, Robbie Wolfe, as they traverse backroads in search of hidden treasures, rusty signs, vintage motorcycles, and long-lost artifacts tucked away in barns and garages. But few fans know that the show's origins trace back to a funeral, one that nearly derailed the series before it even began. This is the untold story of how a chance encounter at a burial service led to the creation of American Pickers, the behind-the-scenes drama that almost destroyed it, and how the show narrowly escaped cancellation in its earliest days. A fateful meeting at a funeral. In the mid-2000s, Mike Wolfe was already a well-known figure in the antiques world. He owned Antique Archaeology, a thriving vintage shop in LeClaire, Iowa, and had spent years documenting his picking adventures through photography and short films. He dreamed of turning his passion into a TV show but struggled to convince networks that treasure hunting through junkyards and basements could be compelling television. Then, in 2007, tragedy struck. A close friend of Wolfe's passed away, and at the funeral, he struck up a conversation with another mourner, a producer who worked in reality TV. As they talked about life, loss, and the things people leave behind, Wolfe shared stories of his picking expeditions. The producer, intrigued by Wolfe's charisma and the untapped potential of his treasure-hunting lifestyle, suggested they develop a pitch for a television series. That chance encounter at a funeral became the catalyst for American Pickers. Within months, Wolfe and the producer were shopping the concept to networks. The History Channel, looking to expand beyond war documentaries, saw potential in the idea. They greenlit a pilot, and in 2010, American Pickers premiered to surprising success. But just as the show was gaining momentum, a crisis threatened to end it all. The feud that almost killed the show. From the beginning, American Pickers thrived on the chemistry between Mike Wolfe and his co-host, Frank Fritz. The two had been friends since childhood, and their playful bickering, Wolfe the optimistic dreamer, Fritz the skeptical negotiator, became a hallmark of the show. Audiences loved their dynamic, but behind the scenes, tensions were brewing. By 2012, the show was a hit, but Fritz reportedly grew resentful of Wolfe's increasing control over production. Wolfe, as the show's creator, had more creative input and financial benefits, which led to friction. Sources close to the production claimed Fritz felt sidelined, and their once strong friendship began to deteriorate. The breaking point came in 2017 when Fritz took a hiatus from the show due to health issues, including back surgery and struggles with addiction. When he was ready to return, he claimed he was not invited back. Wolfe, meanwhile, maintained that the decision was out of his hands, controlled by the network. The feud turned public, with Fritz giving interviews expressing his bitterness, while Wolfe remained mostly silent. The drama cast a shadow over the show, and fans began to take sides. Ratings dipped, and rumors swirled that American Pickers might not survive the fallout. How the show survived and evolved. Just as American Pickers seemed on the brink of collapse, the producers made a risky move. They brought in Mike's brother, Robbie Wolfe, as a new co-host in 2021. Robbie, a longtime behind-the-scenes presence in the picking world, brought a fresh energy to the series. While some longtime viewers missed Fritz, others embraced the change. The show also shifted focus, placing more emphasis on the historical significance of the items they uncovered, a move that aligned with the History Channel's brand. Episodes began featuring deeper dives into the stories behind the antiques, appealing to both collectors and history buffs. Meanwhile, Mike Wolfe expanded the American Pickers brand beyond TV, opening additional antique archaeology locations and launching a successful merchandise line. The show's near-death experience had forced it to adapt, and in doing so, it found new life. The legacy of the funeral that started it all. Today, American Pickers remains one of the History Channel's longest-running and most beloved shows. It has spawned imitators, inspired a new generation of pickers, and preserved countless pieces of American history that might have otherwise been lost to time. Yet it's impossible to ignore the irony that a show about uncovering forgotten treasures was itself almost buried, first by network skepticism, then by behind-the-scenes turmoil. Had Mike Wolfe not attended that funeral, had that producer not been there, American Pickers might never have existed. And had the feud between Wolfe and Fritz not forced a reinvention, the show might not have endured. In the end, American Pickers is a testament to resilience, both in the artifacts it rescues and in its own unlikely survival. Like the rusty relics Mike Wolfe pulls from the dirt, the show was given a second life. And for fans, that's the greatest pick of all. American Pickers star Danielle, Colby's daughter, Memphis, dropped jaws while rocking an itty-bitty string bikini in a new video. On June 7th, the History Channel personality's adult child took to Instagram with a clip of herself in a pink and teal two-piece swimsuit. And the revealing update, Memphis put a finger to her lips while looking confused and pretending to think hard about something. Clay Aiken talks father's version of Measure of a Man. Clay Aiken talks father's version of Measure of a Man. Read more. EXP customer logo. Someone told me they like my movie at the grocery store today, she wrote in overlaid text. I wasn't in a movie, what do you think they mean? In the caption, she added, like, huh? Memphis Instagram followers reacted to the teasing video in the comments, with one fan catching onto the joke, writing, "Do you have a smiling face with hard eyes?" Another echoed, I'm gonna have to check out this movie, thinking face. Someone else quipped, or were you? Winky face. In a snap recently shared via Instagram, Memphis struck a tantalizing pose in a one-piece look. I think green might be my color, frog face, Memphis captioned her update. For the picture, she rocked an olive green swimsuit while seemingly lying on a bed and making a seductive face. The deep cut of the one-piece showed off her hips and tights, as well as the tattoos on her legs and arms. Meanwhile, her famous mom, Danielle, 49, is gearing up for the grand opening of her new business venture dedicated to the history of stripping, the Ecdesiast Arts Museum in Davenport, Iowa. The TV personality often posts risque photos of herself via Instagram, showing off the burlesque looks while performing under the stage name Danny Diesel. In other news, Danielle's American Pickers co-star, Mike Wolfe, 60, also recently made a major business move of his own. American Pickers star Danielle Colby is no stranger to the spotlight, but recently, it was her daughter who stole the show. The reality TV personality's stunning daughter turned heads when she flaunted her curves in a tiny string bikini, leaving fans in awe. The jaw-dropping photos quickly went viral, sparking discussions about confidence, body positivity, and the next generation of reality TV stars. Who is Danielle Colby's daughter? Danielle Colby, best known for her role on American Pickers, has always been open about her family life. While she tends to keep her children out of the public eye, her daughter has occasionally made appearances on social media, showcasing her striking looks and bold fashion choices. Though Danielle has not publicly shared her daughter's name in many interviews, fans have followed glimpses of her through Colby's Instagram posts. The young woman has inherited her mother's confidence and flair for making a statement, whether through vintage-inspired fashion or daring swimwear. The viral bikini moment. Recently, Danielle's daughter set the internet ablaze when she posted photos of herself rocking a barely there string bikini. The sizzling snapshots highlighted her toned physique and fearless attitude, earning praise from fans and followers. In one particularly eye-catching shot, she posed by the pool, her tiny bikini leaving little to the imagination. The bold choice of swimwear accentuated her curves, and her confident demeanor proved that she's unapologetically embracing her body. Fans flooded the comments with compliments, with many saying, "She definitely got her mom's confidence." Wow, what a bombshell. Danielle must be so proud. Danielle Colby's reaction. While some parents might shy away from their children's risque posts, Danielle Colby has always been a champion of self-expression. Known for her burlesque background and body-positive mindset, she has likely encouraged her daughter to embrace her individuality. Though Danielle hasn't publicly commented on the viral photos, her own history of bold fashion and burlesque performances suggests she supports her daughter's choices. After all, Colby has spent years advocating for women's empowerment, and seeing her daughter confidently own her look must be a proud moment. Body positivity and confidence. The bikini photos aren't just about aesthetics, they're a testament to self-love and body confidence. In an era where social media often promotes unrealistic beauty standards, Danielle's daughter's unapologetic display of her body is refreshing. Danielle Colby herself has been vocal about body positivity, often sharing messages of self-acceptance. Her daughter's bold photos align with that same mindset, showing that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and confidence is the sexiest accessory. Could she follow in her mom's reality TV footsteps? With her striking looks and natural charisma, many fans are wondering if Danielle's daughter might step into the entertainment industry. American Pickers has been a hit for years, and a spin-off or new reality show featuring the next generation isn't out of the question.